Hello everyone, welcome back to online lecture series on heat transfer. We are continuing our special series for numericals of this subject, and our today's topic is numericals on heat exchanger. So let's begin. Our first question is, the exhaust gases having the value of Cp as 1.12 flowing through a tubular heat exchanger at the rate of 1200 kg per hour, and they are cooled from 400 degrees Celsius to 120 degree Celsius. The cooling is affected by water that enters the system at 10 degrees Celsius and leaves and at the rate of 1500 kg per hour. If the overall heat transfer coefficient is 500 kilojoule per meter square hour degree, what heat exchanger area is required to handle the load? For first case is parallel flow and second case is counter flow. So here we are given exhaust gases. So the hot fluid is, for hot fluid which things we are given? We are given Cp, we are given mass flow rate of hot fluid, we are given TH1, TH2, apart from that for cold fluid value of Cp is available. T mass flow rate of cold fluid is given. Tc1 is given and H is available. H is the heat transfer coefficient. So we need to calculate the heat exchanger area which is required to handle load for parallel and counter flow arrangement. So here we don't know the exit temperature of cooling water as it is not given in the question. Only the 10 degrees Celsius inlet temperature is available. So here the heat gained by the water is given by mccc Tc2 minus Tc1 is equal to the heat which is lost by the exhaust gases. So based on that, putting all those values, we can obtain the value of Tc2. Now from the energy balance we can say that Q value can also be obtained in this way. Now first we will discuss about parallel flow arrangement. For parallel flow, we can also draw the arrangement over here. Let's say that here we are having temperature T. And here the distance X. So a hot fluid will observe a decrease in temperature like this, and a cold fluid will observe an increase in temperature like this. So here we will have TH1 and here we will have TH2. Here we will have TC1 and TC2. The direction is this. So they are writing for this figure, and now the value of LMTD is given by this theta1 minus theta2, where theta1 is the temperature difference at inlet, that is, this will be our theta1 difference between TH1 and TC1, and theta2 will be this. So while putting all these values, we can get the value of theta m. So heat exchange Q can be obtained as Q is equal to UA theta m. So surface area A is obtained in this way. Now we will discuss for counter flow arrangement, in which the arrangement will be like this. Okay, let me draw it over here. This is the value of X, this is the temperature. So let's say hot fluid is having a flow as this, so that is TH1 TH2, and here for counter flow arrangement it will be like this, that is TC1, and here it will be TC2. So the theta 1 will be this, and here this will be the value of theta 2 here. So similarly we can get the value of theta m, and in that way we can obtain the heating surface area E. Now let's move on to our next question. Here a steam condenser is transferring 250 kilowatt of thermal energy at a condensing temperature of 65 degrees Celsius. So we are given the value of Q, that is written also over here, that is 250, and the condensing temperature is given to us, that is 65 degrees Celsius. Now the cooling water enters the condenser at 20 degrees Celsius with a mass flow rate of 7500. So here we are given TC1, which is equal to 20 degrees Celsius, with NC is equal to 7500 kilojoule per hour. Calculate the logarithmic mean temperature difference. If the overall heat transfer coefficient for the condenser surface is given by this formula, that is 1250 watt per meter square degree, what surface area is required to handle this load? Okay, so let's first focus on this question. So we don't know the temperature at the exit, that is we are not aware of TC2. We don't know about TC2. So it can be obtained with this energy balance equation, Q is equal to MCCC TC2 minus TC1. So here we are obtaining the value of TC2. Now here we are using the counter flow arrangement. If you recall, I have already drawn that counter flow arrangement in previous question, that is X. So here we are having TC1, TC2, and here it should be TS1, TC1, and here TC2. So here theta 1 is Th1 minus Tc2 and theta 2 is Th2 minus Tc1. So finally we are getting the value of theta m which was required to calculate, and then we can move forward with Q value. So with this formula of Q, we can calculate the heating surface area. Now it may be pointed out that when one of the fluid remains at constant temperature during a flow passage, it is immaterial whether the calculations are made for parallel or counter flow arrangement. Both arrangements would give the same values for log mean temperature difference and heating surface area for specified load. So here if you see, our entire question was based on the steam condenser. So this 65 degrees Celsius was remaining constant. So even if you want, you can also try that even if we do the same calculation for the parallel flow arrangement, then the results would be same for condensing or evaporating arrangement. Now the next question which is asked here is, what would be the error introduced if the arithmetic mean temperature difference is used rather than the logarithmic mean temperature difference? So suppose we are using now arithmetic mean temperature difference, that theta is equal to theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2, then we will be getting this value, and this gives us heat exchange area based on our question, based on our formula is 6.52, and the error from our previous one is, with arithmetic mean temperature difference we are getting almost 8% lesser area for heat exchange. So now let's move forward to our next question. A heat exchanger is to be designed to condense 8 kg per second of an organic liquid, that is at 80 degree Celsius saturation temperature and HFG as 600 kilojoule per kg. So we are given mass flow rate of hot fluid, its temperature, and HFG, that is the enthalpy value, and the cold fluid is cooling water which is available at 15 degrees Celsius and at the flow rate of 60 kg per second. The overall heat transfer coefficient is 480 watt per meter square degree, and calculate the following things. We need to calculate two things here. First is the number of tubes required. The tubes are to be of 25 mm outer diameter, 2 mm thickness, and 4.85 meter length. Second thing that we need to calculate is number of tube passes. The velocity of cooling water is not to exceed 2 meter per second. So here first is, from the energy balance, what we can do is heat lost by vapor. and second is heat gain by water. So here we are getting this value, this formula we can apply, and by that we can obtain the outlet temperature of water as 34.11, and here this is also a condensation process, so we are utilizing a parallel flow arrangement here, that is for condensing vapor the temperature remains constant throughout the flow passage, that is Th1 is equal to Th2 is equal to 80 degrees Celsius. So we can easily calculate theta 1, theta 2 and theta m for this arrangement. So our first objective is to calculate the number of tubes which are required. So for that purpose, first we can calculate the value of Q. So this will be, if you see, this is the value of M and this is the value of H, F, G, and this is overall heat transfer coefficient 480, pi, D0, L, these two values are given to us, and N is the number of tubes which are required, and theta m is already calculated in our previous slide. So the number of tubes are now 478. So if you see here, we have calculated the first portion, that is the number of tubes which are required. Now our next question was the number of tube passes, and additional information which is given for this part is the velocity of cooling water is not to exceed 2 meter per second. So maximum velocity will be 2 meter per second. So here if you see that let small n be the number of tubes in each pass, then the mass of cold water passing through each pass will be given by this formula, that Nc is equal to, which is 60 already available to us. This is the formula which is used, M as M is equal to rho A and V, and as it is said there is N is the total number of tubes in each pass, so we need to calculate, multiply N, which is done over here, and once we put that value over here we can get the value of N, that is the number of tubes in each pass. So now here the number of passes is given by this formula. Let me write down over here how it is achieved. Number of passes is equal to first number of tubes divided by number of tubes in each pass. So that is the formula that is being used here, and it is quite easy to understand. So based on that we are getting the value as 5.51. So number of passes cannot be in this way, so we need to have approximate number, that is 6. So this is the second answer that we were required to obtain, that is number of tube passes. So here we have discussed three numericals today on numericals on heat exchanger. Thank you for watching this video.